Hey y'all, how's it going? It's your boy Kennard Lewis. We here in the flesh. We doing it right. And I'm here today to talk about a topic that I definitely feel speaks to today's time, but as well as discusses the importance of when we're transitioning from one chapter in our lives to the next. And again, that's about transitional periods. Because there comes a moment where when we're in chapter one and we need to get to chapter two, but in order for us to get there, something needs to change in ourselves. Something needs to adapt. So sometimes we need to let go of the bad habits. Sometimes we need to change up our mindset. You know, sometimes we need different approaches. And sometimes, well, when I say properly transition, I mean get rid of that stuff. I mean work on that stuff. Because sometimes we can get to the environment but not be able to last there long enough because we failed to get rid of the things that were going to hold us back. Getting somewhere is very important. It's great. But sustaining it, that comes another thing. And that's why it's very important to understand the importance of transitioning properly. Sometimes they're voluntary, right? You decide that you want to get somewhere, so you know what you got to do, right? But what about the times when it's not voluntary? What if, you don't make the decision to transition, but the world does, or God does, or your circumstances do? However you want to call it, or getting laid off does, or in this case, COVID-19 does. And that's what unfortunately, sometimes there are things that are out of our control. We don't get to say what happens to us all the time. We don't get to say what happens to the world. We just have to just flow. We just have to roll with the punches. And sometimes rolling over is not such a bad thing. Sometimes it's best to be submissive because you fighting reality, it just prolongs the inevitable. Is that you're gonna have to get there somehow or some way, And to be honest, I get the fight. I get the desire to not want to change if you didn't have to, or if you don't want to. I get that. I have to do this with school, going to online learning. I got to do this with the way I counsel and interact with my students. I got to do this with working out. And mind you, at first it was difficult. I fought with it. I skipped some days. I said I'm not used to this. I don't like this. It can't be about like when it comes to transitioning. Like will keep you from growing. Convenience will keep you from developing. And that's what I had to realize. That there came a moment where I was like, I could stay, right, and be fed up at the world, be fed up at the circumstances, not do what I'm supposed to do, and watch what happens. Watch all the work that I've been doing go down the drain. And that's what we have to realize, that we already started some goals. I know COVID-19 has messed up our the way that we want to get there, but we still can get there. It may not be the way that we want to get there, but we can still get there. I know we can. But at the same time, is that we have to want to get there. We have to want to stop complaining. And even if it's hard, we have to find a way. And again, it's not easy. It's not easy to adjust in this circumstance, in this lifestyle. But I don't know what else to do because the world has already changed and has already shifted to adjusting to this. So if the world is doing it, right, if nobody's going to stop developing, if nothing's going to change, if the world doesn't stop because I decide not to work out, the world doesn't stop because you decide not to log on for your classes, we just hurt ourselves. We hurt ourselves, and I don't want us to hurt us. We don't deserve to be hurt, but the circumstances hurt us, and take some time to process. But also understand that has to go if you want to properly transition into this next stage. Because if we don't, if we bring that into there, we're not going to last. I was bringing that into this transition. And because I was bringing it into, I stopped some days. I got fed up. My anger got a little mad. My anger got the best of me. But I understand that we can grow, that we can develop, and we just have to adjust. Unfortunately, we have to transition. We have to understand, what do we really want at the end of the day? What matters to us most? Thank you. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's be safe. Let's be mindful of everything. And let's do our best to get to the next level in our lives. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.